Hello and welcome to this new video of mine. And yeah, I've been politically active in the last days or week because we're having a large election, a very important election. We are basically electing our parliament and our chancellor this weekend. So I've been to protests and counter protests, and I have prepared protests, I've done campaigning. I've been politically active, to say the least. So I have been to counter protest, as I've said. And I've been there with my Social Democrat brother. I love him a lot. Some of you might still remember him from being a helpful hand behind the camera. And at the counter protest, he felt kind of out of place because he's someone who believes that every opinion is valuable, and he was kind of sad that he couldn't hear what the Nazis were saying. I will hopefully put some pictures of the protest that we were counter-protesting here, so you can understand that these were real fascists. They talked about how gays, the bad, evil gays, over-sexualize our children and enable pedophilia. And they talked about us, Germany, losing the 2 world wars because apparently the whole world was fighting against us and we were the victim. They also talked about how we should get back the lost territory in the east, in Russia and Poland, East Prussia and Silesia, it's regions like that. And these people were real Nazis. They were not just conservatives being yeah, well, the market should be free, and yeah, no, we don't need trans rights. There were people who would definitely count as National Socialists. And this party is probably going to get some votes in the election soon. But a question that I took home from this protest is the question, should we talk to Nazis? An important argument we have to consider here is that by talking to Nazis and fascists, we do not just give them a platform and have them spread their ideas, but we also legitimize their ideas in some kind of way. We pretend that it is normal in a democracy to talk to fascists and listen to their fascist things, to them thinking that no, of course they don't deserve human rights. Why the hell should they? We give them space to articulate their ideas, and that can be problematic, especially when it's a public space and when minorities do not get to be protected from those ideas. I mean, people have to listen to so much shit in their day-to-day life. Do we really want to put even more Nazi, racist, sexist stuff into the media? So they have to listen to that as well. Or they do not even can consume the media anymore because it might be triggering to them. Do we want to make media consumption harder for those who already have a harder life just to please some racists? I don't know. Just questions. Additionally, giving Nazis and fascists a platform to articulate their ideas can lead to a spread of those. People can get introduced to those ideas, can learn that apparently they aren't that bad. I mean, if they would be that problematic, they wouldn't be able to talk about it in schools, right? So it is definitely fine to be against abortion and to think that, of course, women don't deserve the same rights men do, and of course feminism is so toxic, and of course it's completely fine to be a racist stick because why not? We're white and superior. Why not? Hope no one will ever cut that out of context. So yeah, it might lead to a spread of those ideas and might even reach more people. On the other hand, by not giving Nazi ideas a platform, we are also not giving the left a platform in debunking those ideas. Because, I mean, if we want to criticize them and contextualize them, fact-check them, we have to talk about those ideas as well. I mean, we could talk about them without having to invite a fascist. I mean, there are lots of speeches and texts and songs written by fascists, which could show us their ideas without us having to actually talk to them. And that could be good. I mean, we could confront us with them without having to confront the people that hold them. On the other hand, not confronting the people that hold them can lead to us not giving those people the opportunity to question themselves. Questioning your ideas is very hard if you're only surrounded by people who share the same values and ideas you have. That's why I follow weird right-wing people on Twitter, why I am in Nazi Telegram groups, and occasionally go to Nazi protests to talk to the Nazis, and then I go to the counter-protests. I think it's important to question them, question their ideas, and offer them the chance to question themselves. I mean, I talked to a guy who was very, very sure that our conservative and liberal parties are all socialists. And I asked him what socialism is. He was like, yeah, well, do you know what socialism is? I was like, I'm asking you. You're the one who said that they are socialists, so you have to know it. He was like, no, you have to know it. Like, do you even know it, guy? And he was like, no, not really. And then he attacked me for like, why are you talking with us anyway? And I replied that it helps me to humanize them. I don't think that reducing people to some ideas they hold is a good way to live with each other in a society. And that is another point I wrote down. By pushing people out of the public discourse, we are also kind of pushing them into those right-wing circles. We're making it harder for them to get help. By reducing them to their ideas, we also, encourage them to reduce themselves to them, which is a problem. Obviously. So we are actively participating in some harmful stuff, which is not good. But on the other hand, if we would give Nazis a platform, they would only use it for themselves. If we would ask them critical questions, it would end in them self-victimizing, being like, oh my god, the journalists are so evil, they're questioning us. So mean. And that's not good. We don't want them to be able to use our platform for their purposes. On the other hand, if we would start to ban fascists and Nazis from the political discourse, where would that end? I mean, I kind of found out, or was able to articulate, that I have never seen a socialist, anarchist, communist, someone like that, actually have a platform. Why do fascists have a platform that we don't have? And I'm not just talking about people being like, yeah, well, women should have the right to abort their baby if they don't want it. I'm talking about like people questioning the state and the status quo. And then I remembered that fascists aren't as unwanted by the elite as communists are. Fascists aren't mad at the rich people at the top, if they are white and Christians, of course. They are mad at Jewish people and other people. Yeah, the other. And that is something the elites probably like. What they don't like is communists being like, well, we are mad at everyone at the top because no one should be at the top of the society and exploit others for their own benefit. So when we are enforcing a ban on Nazis in public discourse, we also are supporting people in having this unofficial ban on anarchists and socialists, which is harmful to us. I mean, of course, we are not questioning human rights, which is a good thing. Of course, it's a good thing. Everyone deserves human rights. That shouldn't be a question. But apparently it is, because we are letting Nazis ask those questions. I read an article about a radio show that invited a fascist rapper and talked to him, and he only came up there under the promise that he would not have to talk about the Holocaust, because he probably denies the Holocaust. And I think we could do something similar in public discourse, being like, okay, you fascist, you can come up here and talk about your ideas, but You are not allowed to question human rights. And that would take a lot of their appeal away. Fascist appeal, the appeal of fascists relies on a large base, at least from what I experienced, on the in-group being defined through the out-group, and the out-group being the evil and the in-group the wonderful thing we have to preserve. And by making it impossible for them to dehumanize the out-group, they cannot really define the in-group anymore, and that would mean that they would have to talk about like actual political stuff like taxes and boring things. Then leftists love to talk about boring things. We are such weird intellectuals. I think it would be pretty fun because most of the right-wing people I know and talk to are not. I mean, they pretend to be, and they love to quote people, but they don't understand the theory themselves. They don't understand the word they are spitting out. At least from, as I said, my experience was like my tone folk Nazis. I mean, I'm not talking to fancy Nazi figures. They are more intellectual and more educated, but I'm talking about the small idiots who will maybe punch me if I will ever hold hands with a potential girlfriend outside. So, to sum it up, I think we should not give Nazis a platform. I think we should talk to them in person. That is, I think, very important. But giving them a platform can lead to them doing harmful stuff, and we don't want them to do that. So, talking in person, very good, approved. Giving them a platform in talk shows and radio shows, on YouTube channels, not approved. Anyway, I hope you liked my video. I hope you subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Give me some kind of engagement. Just please tell me your opinion in the comments. I would love to hear more arguments, because this is just me talking about the thoughts I'm having. So better arguments can definitely change my mind. I hope you are open for discussion. I hope you like it. Have a nice day, and be calm and patient and kind. Goodbye!